All right, all right, all right. It's been a good show, another good show, a great start to your day. Thank you very much. What was your favorite part of this show?
I enjoyed watching Freshers.
Yeah?
I'm happy for those kids that they got a chance to answer questions because Dennis and I were not up there today.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say I'm going to petition for us to be back next week. We sat down, Dennis and I sat down answering every question. Yeah, but look at them say, fire upon Dennis and Yendi, them too mean to the children. But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, before we say goodbye, here's a quick reminder that it is the final week of the Sunrisers Challenge, which means that we're really putting our community to the test. We're asking, how well do you know Sunrise? Are you an OG Sunriser? Are you a newcomer? Well, you're welcome either way, because this Friday we're going to be playing 2 truths and a lie, so to see who really knows Sunrise. So if you can give us the correct answer to the questions that we will ask, then $25,000 cash will be yours. However, you've got to be a part of our Sunrisers community. So we're going to ask you to go onto our social media pages, click the link in our bio. And if you're not over there on those pages, you can always hop onto WhatsApp. 876-833-0897 is how you can get involved.
Also, don't miss the live broadcast of the T20 between South Africa and West Indies. Looking forward to that. Listen,
Cricket, lovely
looking
cricket.
forward to that. That's on May 23, 25, and 26. It's right here on CVM at 2 p.m. this week, exclusively where? On CVM. Also tune in to Lead's Story at 6:30.
All right, that's all the time we have for Sunrise today, Sunrisers. If you missed anything, if you just want to rewatch your favorite segments, we've got you covered at cvmtv.com. And for all the great fun stuff in between, we're on Instagram at SunriseCVM, at CVM_television. So the Roundtable Squad takes over after this.
Oh my goodness, cricket is back. Who knew? Good morning, everybody. I am Shelly-Ann and welcome to the Round Table. Of course, I've got my good, nice, clean friend Nathan joining us this morning.
Hey,
look out him, shirt, nice and so impressed and clean this morning. And of course, my favorite troublemaker doctor is also here. Morning, Dr. Dawes. How you doing? Happy to see you as always.
It was a pleasure.
You know, I need a favor from you. Can you call the engineer them and tell them to turn down the heat, please? It's very warm.
Look, I hear Sahara dust and all sort of madness going on right now. Yes, not as bad as before, but all of that is, you know, last year they said it was the hottest summer on record. And someone said, no, it's the hottest summer so far. So we're expecting the temperatures to go up and up.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? The hurricane season is coming up. You know, I don't feel so good.
So that's going to be the worst hurricane season ever. I'm just saying. It's the worst everything ever.
Don't say that, Nate.
The worst everything ever. Just get ready.
Fire upon that.
Yeah, man, get ready.
Put that down. Go down with that.
Pray it down, sister. Pray it down, sister.
None of that this morning. No, man. Hey, Nathan, we still talking about Gilbert, you know. So we don't interested in a
So I was just 9 months old in Gilbert, so I don't know who's still talking.
Oh, so you should talk to me with respect. I'm your elders.
Well, I won't
You were
say...
a baby in Gilbert. You know, you're going to call me Miss Weeks from now on, Nathan.
Mommy, can I say Mommy Weeks?
No, don't.
Auntie Sir and Mom.
Auntie Shelly.
Auntie Shelly.
You know what? Don't even bother with the foolishness. It is time for us to check out what's buzzing online in our social buzz. Check this out.
One's talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold
on. Listen.
Order. Mr. Chairman,
that's beneath even your
regain order of your committee.
Order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person? Are your feelings hurt? Her words down.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. You don't have enough intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry. Okay, move to strike the. I move to strike the lady's words. The lady's words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike. Oh, they cannot take the words.
There's another motion to strike her words again. Please get your members under control. Here's the correct apology. Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike my words, but I'm not apologizing.
Without objection.
Mr. Chair, point of order. I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built body that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
What quality?
Chairman, motion to
I
strike
had no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just said
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
Well,
You know, so one time the houses of parliaments and senates and
Congress and
places where lawmakers reside used to be a decent place. I don't know what is keeping over there.
where you get that from?
Well,
It was
that is what they
people
tell me
were-
in school when they used to teach me
No,
civics.
sir.
When we're not
People
learning about these
ever
people.
since people fighting, throwing pen, all sorts of
Boy,
madness.
I don't know. There must have been a standard, though. Beach blonde, poorly built body,
No, this
eyelash.
type of thing with the women. It's usually the men who were at it. This is different.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't know if it is that we're making progress or not, but everybody is misbehaving apparently. So, you know, let's all...
Maybe that is the new
You
world
did
that we
it.
live in.
Let us all misbehave. You don't want to come in here one morning and go out with some mix-up.
Mommy Shells, listen, though, let we start with it, you know.
I tell you, Auntie Shelly, about the foolishness. You know what?
That's a mommy
It's
Shelly.
time for a bag of things. Okay, so every year for the last about 5 years, I've been making vision boards. So I decided to share a few of my vision boards with you. Now, this is a nice exercise for me. It's more about stress relief and dreaming and all of those kind of things. I don't know if you make your vision boards, but as you can see, mine is nice and very, very colorful and pretty.
This is the latest
and this is the latest one. The one that Nathan has is the latest one.
There we go.
And Dr. Dawes is looking very, very...
You
What,
sure you
this
want to
is
show this on
something-
screen?
What? But what do you mean? What happened
Well,
to...
let me look at it and check.
No, you know what? Anyway, let me talk about that. What? Let me see. Is what?
This is
I don't
morning. This is
remember.
morning TV.
What? I don't remember.
This is morning. There's a few.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a massage. Jesus.
Hey man, suggestive enough. It's suggestive. We're not saying
It's not showing anything
It's
explicit.
more. Hey
We don't
guys,
need to
morning
behave.
TV.
Right. So my vision board. I just want
We'll
to tell you
talk
a few
about the
things.
books and the TED
Talk
Talk
about the books
speaker
and
and all of
things.
that.
Well, there's always something here about exercise because you
no,
know
she
I'm
actually
working
has
on a
done this one
fitness.
too.
And oh, let me cover this word. And
Every year.
and you know what? It's the one that I achieve, you know.
Oh, that's
Every
the
year
one
I
you
achieve
achieved
this
it.
one. Yes, I'm very good at this.
Oh.
So, of course, you know my foundation, Her Flow, so I always have something over here. I want a US $100,000 grant. And for those who are watching internationally, who, you know, you might want to give a grant for a fund to help us all, I accept money. Thank you so much. Her Flow Online, Google us, right? And of course, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is one of my favorite authors. She's a Nigerian author. She's quite sassy. I like her a lot. We're friends in my mind. I plan to meet her. And of course, you know, Trevor Noah, he's so smart. I like him. I love a smart man, you know? So I intend to meet Trevor Noah. We're going to be friends. I don't want to date him or anything like that.
I see Barris and who?
But Barris, this is a concert that I had in my mind. So I'm saying Maxwell and Barris. You know got a concert there?
Yeah,
Maxwell and Barris?
Yeah,
You don't
that-
think so?
yeah,
You know,
man.
that doesn't sound like a vibe.
That's a place to carry your wife.
You-
Yeah, man.
Duh,
When you go
say that
home,
you
when you go
carry your
home.
wife go places.
Eh? Yeah, man, that's the kind of place you can go. Yeah, man,
yeah,
that's
man.
a perfect place.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I just
Until
showing
him
you.
start singing, you're standing in my way.
Hey, wait.
Hello, Barris don't want none of
You know, she rap about it. I really the trouble
That's
doctor,
why
you
he
know.
sing good,
No, man,
good,
me and
nice,
Barris
clean song. I'm going to leave
Barris
Barris alone.
disrespectful, man.
Me and Barris.
You know, Barris is awesome.
He is.
But I see something hot coming, so I'll bring on the hot things that are coming. Barris is amazing. And a matter of fact, isn't he on stage this year? Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah,
all right, so speaking of Barris, interesting topic. Understanding the decline, factors influencing the decreasing birth rates across the world. So governments across the world have been showing concern about the fact that less babies are being born. As a matter of fact, in countries like South Korea, there are so little children being born that for the first time, kindergarten classes are almost empty. Their birth rate is really, really low. So I'm going to start with the doctor at the table. What are your thoughts? What's going on medically that is influencing, do you think, the birth rate decline?
It's not just medically, it's social, it's cultural, it's development, it's changing attitudes. We're moving from, you know, the 1950s, the birth rate. So when you look at birth rates, the total fertility rate, to replace a population, you need more than 2. So, you know, man and woman, they should have 2 for that generation to go out.
No, what do you mean more? Break that down. What do you mean more than 2?
2.1. So if you're talking about replacements, it should be at about 2.
They mean 2 children.
Two children. To replace the ones would be.
No, it can be more depending on the death rate. So if you have a lot of famine or war or you know, disease outbreaks and so on, you would need maybe 2.3. So the world's average you need to get to is 2.3.
All right, so let us be clear about what you're saying.
You can, not to say 2.3 children, but you know, with the average, someone going to have 3, someone will have 2, but you need more.
So you're saying that to keep the population going, that the current generation of adults right now need to have average at least 2 children, so the next generation can go on, and then those adults then we need to have at least 2, and so on and so forth.
So the natural load
it might be greater in some regions than the other. So Jamaica, we need to be at 2.1. Just so a little bit more than the 2. Right. We should be. We're at 2, which means that we're below the replacement rate.
That don't look so bad, man.
South Korea, you mentioned South Korea, that's at 0.78.
Ouch.
Because you have, as you said, there's change in cultures where people simply are saying, I don't need to even get married, much less have a child.
South Korea is one of the lowest marriage rates. And then you have Japan, where the aging population is making it ridiculous now because they have been low for years.
Yes.
But then nobody's migrating to Japan. So it's an elderly population. Same thing in China. China moved from the 1-child policy, then they went to the 2-child policy, and nobody's still having kids, so they're gone to 3-child policy now. But then their replacement rate is low. India, which just overtook China as the most populous country in the world, theirs has now fallen below replacement rate as well. So the only region is that's really climbing is Africa. Europe is down; it's below 2.
Yeah.
And in some places like Spain, I think, is at 1.1.
Yeah. So let's talk about the factors that's causing that.
Well, you have to also mix in the concept. So as Doc would have put it, you have the factors of around birth, but overall societies are also living longer. Right? Which, with aging population. So with advances in technology around medicine, especially things that used to wipe out populations, that used to keep mortality rates amongst babies, and they're gone. And when you look at that, unless we're very deliberate about how we raise our societies, how we cultivate societies, you're going to find that these are things that will happen. So I know it sounds cute and people say, oh no, I have no baby. We can't work, we can't save money, those things actually have a ripple effect that we also have to be very careful of, because a part of our mandate on this planet is to replenish, is to replicate.
Let us talk about that. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and there was many different campaigns talking about
2 is better than
too many.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of different people talking about, you know, you have to think about your family planning and all of these kind of things. And isn't this success of some of those campaigns that got us here? So why is it that now you're going to say,
no, you're correct.
With all that chest,
yeah, you're correct.
That, you know, our responsibility as human beings is to reproduce.
Shelly,
when we have been telling people not to reproduce.
But Shelly,
we were concerned about...
You were wrong?
No, there was overpopulation. In your lifetime, there has been overpopulation.
Can you really say that, though? We were worried about the resources. So in the 80s, it was a big thing when the world population hit. I think it was 5 billion.
Yeah.
And then when we look, we're at 8 point, where are we now? Almost 9 billion.
Yeah.
And we're expected to increase, even though the declining trends are pointing towards eventual population neutrality. But it's in the 2080s, we're going to peak at world population.
Let us pause at that point, because I really want you to flesh that out. But we have to go for the break. There'll be more after this. Welcome back to the round table. This morning's topic is understanding the decline, factors influencing the decrease in birth rates. So we're talking before about the fact that around the world, birth rates have gotten much lower to the point where governments are freaking out. But I want to talk about some of the factors that are causing this. A lot of this are blamed on women because it's women's fault. Everything in the world that happened is their fault, because women have been empowered and we are no longer interested in being barefoot and pregnant. We want jobs and money and these things. So,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
But that is a factor.
One of the big and accepted factors is that gender equality leads to lower birth rates because you're no longer at home, as you said, barefoot and pregnant. Look at Jamaica, for example. We have the highest number of female managers in the world. Yeah, you don't get there without sacrificing something. You're not going to be having 4, 5, 6 kids like your grandmother who was a homemaker and still climb that corporate ladder. So, there is a trade-off. So when you have more and more females now being empowered to take care of themselves, everybody wants their own. You want your own. I saw your vision board. So,
and let's put it this way. And you can't replace the woman as the child bearer. So when the child bearer is doing other things, you're going to find that birth rates get lower. And that's an accepted part of the society that we live in. What we have to be talking about are the strategies, not necessarily to reverse, because you want the women to be out there and champion and do what they need to do. So you have to recognize that, as I said, the same way we were deliberate when we were telling people, hey, 2 is too many. 2, right? 2 is better than...
But it may not necessarily change. South Korea tried that. They incentivized, marriages and subsidized rents for if you have children and so on, and nobody still took the bait.
Yeah, but I think South Korea's example is a little extreme because the women in South Korea, they have just had it. They're like, no, we're done. But if we're still trying to get the women in Jamaica to be having more children, some things has to change. So, for example, we are still talking about mothers and women as it relates to birth rate, and we're not having any conversation that includes the other person who participates in the making of the children that can increase the birth rate. Usually when we talk about this, we go straight to the women. When the truth is, when it comes to the overall health of people, the responsibility and the ability to have children is not just on the woman. Sometimes the woman wants to have the child, but her partner's bullets don't have any power in them.
And that's another... No, you're talking about fertility. No, you're talking about fertility.
Of men is also an issue.
So we talk about a lot of the social issues, societal issues, but then you talk about fertility, and fertility goes both way. About half of couples that have issues with fertility is the men, and a lot of times the focus is really on the woman.
Correct.
But we have seen a decrease in the average levels of testosterone. A lot of men have low testosterone nowadays. Sperm qualities, sperm motility, all of the sperm counts, they're all trending down globally. And we're accompanying all of that are decreased fertility rates. For women, you have an increased incidence of polycystic ovarian syndrome,
and other reproductive health issues.
That comes with the rising obesity rates because fat just doesn't stay under your skin. It affects your hormones.
Correct.
So we're looking at fertility overall. There are more couples that are seeking IVF and so on. But that in itself has to do with some delays again. The more educated you are, the later you're going to wait.
So
and the later you are, it is. This is a multifactorial issue. It's not just one or the other.
All right, Dr. Daz, hold on. Nathan, over here,
couples in general are waiting longer.
Let me put it this way. It's a total issue. I think when we try to put it down to like singular factors to say which one is greater, when you take it as a global issue, there's so many things that if you're talking about correcting to try and get back to a place of an increased birth rate, you're now talking about changing the entire globe's perspective. Because what you'll have to have happen is where they talk about opening migration, allowing places where people are, quote unquote, overpopulated to be moving. Even that won't help you out. The global population is still...
Nobody truly wants that because the countries where they're coming from, the skill set, the attitudes, and so on. A lot of
yes, I remember racism is a thing.
Racism is huge.
So that's the challenge you have in the world.
One thing we know for certain, development always leads to underpopulation.
Just a moment, we have to go to a break. You see, every time the conversation getting nice, do this to me. We'll be right back after this. Ooh la la, thank you so much for staying with us this morning. Of course, we've been talking about understanding the decline, factors influencing the decrease in birth rate. We don't have a lot of time, but we cannot leave here and don't talk about the fact that having children is expensive. There are a lot of people who have one child and say, listen, I cannot afford anymore. They are otherwise healthy, but they're like, I cannot afford anymore.
This guy.
Yeah,
man, this guy. Yo, Pampers, expensive. The doctor visit, expense. School. Oh, my God, school expensive.
Yeah.
And we have a re-registration fee
to hold the place.
For hold the place. But that's already go to school. I can't write her name on the paper for free. I'll do that. I'll write all the kids' name on paper for free. I don't know why I have to pay for her to go back to the school that she's already at.
Oh, that's a thing?
That's a thing.
And the thing is, we always want to give our children a better life than we had. And that is always going to be more expensive.
Is that a factor, though, that you think that we can actually do something about? Like the different policymakers and lawmakers, is that a factor that they can actually address?
It's inevitable that you're going to have population decline as the world develops. And on top of that, Jamaica we suffer from migration. The young people are migrating. Yeah. You know, it's not the older persons. It's always the young people again.
Before we have to go to final thoughts, can you give us an idea of the population demographic in Jamaica, like old versus young? Like how much of our population is over, let's say, 30?
I can't tell you offhand right now, but typically in a developing country, you would have what you call a pyramid, where the top is the oldest, is the smallest, and it goes down like that. As you develop and aging gets, the population aging, you get a bulge. Oh. We are at a bulge now. Ultimately, we're going to have an inverted pyramid like Japan.
Oh, and that's not a good thing.
That is a horrible thing, because then the retirees have gotten a really bad bargain. They're living longer, they're getting sicker, and the young people who are paying into the pension system are less. So it's going to cause a societal collapse.
With a lower birth rate, because people are now living on pension for 50 years, 40 years.
My goodness.
Pensions were designed for...
You're supposed to die after 10 years.
Yeah. So me paying a pension for extra 30.
Let us not sound like we want to kill
No, I'm talking
Hold on, don't make that point. That can be
please don't say that I'm saying that.
I am not saying you're saying that.
The doctor's killing us.
What are your final thoughts around our topic this morning?
I think it is inevitable that as we develop as a country, that we are going to have declining birth rates. It's not something that we're going to see immediately. It's going to take about 2 generations before we start to see a fall in the population.
There's some things that are nice problems to have, nice problems to try and figure out. I think a birth rate issue is something that allows governments and populations to be a little bit more creative with how they build and develop their society. So I like this challenge for us as a country and as a globe. How do we start to engender better policies around family, birth rate, mortality? Those are the things that I think will excite anybody to want to see how their country develops as we go forward.
All right, well, all I would have to say is that this is an opportunity for us to take care of the children that we already have. Lots of children in government homes and places of safety that need some help and support. Some of them have some nice money in their pocket. Go and go take up one of them and take care of them, because the children are getting less and less. And that is a wrap for the roundtable this morning. I want to say thank you so much to our guest, opposition spokesman on health and wellness, Dr. Alfred Doss. Always a pleasure to hear, Dr. Doss. And of course, thank you, Nathan, for being here as well.
Mommy Shells.
Don't call it so. Enjoy the rest of your days and go forward into the world. Remember to be good, be on purpose, take care, walk good. See you next time.
So she didn't have a daughter, she did have a son. She said the lift doesn't work, run up the stairs and come. And if you don't come quick, you're not gonna know that son. So I grab a bunch of rose and I started to run. Here I come, whoa. 2 months later, she said, come and get your son. Cause I don't want your baby to come tie me down. Now because you are old and I am young. Yes, while I'm young, yes, I wanna have some fun. Run me down, should live